second. But yeah, we had some stuff that we needed to deal with on a fairly emergency basis yesterday, and so I wasn't able to film. But we are on our way to Ottawa, which is the National Capital Region, okay? And it's going to be fun, and I want to let you know a little bit about what I am reading. So right now I am finally reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Water Dancer. So Ta-Nehisi Coates you should know him if you are interested in like American politics or the global discussion about race in America, racism in America. He is a thought leader, a writer. I know him as a thought leader, writer, a political thinker, and an influencer. So you might know Ta-Nehisi Coates as other things, but that's how I found out about him. And I have a copy of his book, Between the World and Me, and I know that he's written a number of other books about the relationship between Black people in America and the state. The Water Dancer is Ta-Nehisi Coates' first work of fiction, and in it we follow Hiram. Hiram is a young man who is the son of a man who owned this estate called Lochless, and Hiram is one of the tasked, and in this world to be tasked is effectively to be enslaved, to be indebted by blood to a family. And I think that even though I'm learning about the world, it pretty much represents like the slavery racial hierarchy of the American South. So instead of having people called slaves, you have enslaved people who are called the tasked. And the people who are enslaved as the tasked work for people called that are part of a class called quality. So Hiram is a descendant of the Walker family, and the Walker family used to be quality, but for some reason they have fallen from grace, so they are considered to be low, or part of the low class. I'm about 80 or 90 pages in, but as you know, I usually don't read mundane fiction, so this story has elements of realism to it, realism of the I don't want to say magical realism, but I need to find another word to describe it. And the reason why I wouldn't describe it as magical realism is because magical realism as a term should really only be used for books written by Latinx authors, because magical realism came out of the writing of Latinx authors. And so it's definitely speculative fiction. There are supernatural elements to the story. We learn that Hiram has a special relationship with water, but at this point in the book, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I know that it has something to do with his mother. I'm not exactly sure what a water dancer is in the magical sense, but I do know that there is something called water dancing, a style of dancing called water dancing. So that isn't magical at all. So I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm buddy reading it with a bunch of people. I'm buddy reading it with my good friends, Sherry from Obsidian Texts and Tangents, Noria from Noria Reads, Tatiana from Musical Tati, and also believe Brittany from Melanin Eclectic already read it, but the five of us will likely be discussing it at some point, so we're trying to get through this. Now, The Water Dancer is about 400 and something pages, but my train ride is 6 hours long, so I'm hoping that during the ride I'll be able to listen to it and read it, and hopefully by the time we get back, hopefully I will finish this book. We will see. If you see this on my next Friday reads, then you'll know that I didn't succeed, but I'm hoping that I will be able to. So, one of the interesting things about The Water Dancer is that even though it was very popular when it first came out, so it was Oprah's first pick for her book club in 2019. A lot of people really loved the cover. The cover art is stunning. I actually looked up the cover artist, and this image of the young man underwater is one of a series of images that the artist did of black bodies in water. And I actually originally picked this book up because I liked the cover. I'm very attracted to blue covers with black bodies and black mermaids, and I thought that The Water Dancer might be related to like mermaids in some way, obviously just by the title, but it isn't. But yeah, she has a lot. I think the author is female and identifies as a woman, but I could be wrong. Anyway, the author has a lot of great images that you should probably check out. And one day I hope to own a print, not of this one, but of another one of the pieces. But yeah, when this book first came out, a lot of people were talking about it. It was on a lot of TBRs, a lot of hauls. Of course, that part of that is because of Oprah, obviously, but very few people reviewed it. And I've actually heard mixed reviews of this book, which is why I wanted to read this, just like I heard mixed reviews of Red Wolf, Black Leopard by Marlon James. So I have in my watch later links to a couple of reviews, including Rachel Ray's review of The Water Dancer. I trust her reviews. So after I read it, I will watch the reviews and see like what the issue was. I know that so far the writing is really poetic, and I'm listening to this over Audible, and the narrator is Joe Morton. Joe Morton is the actor who played the father of Olivia Pope in Scandal, and he as a narrator is absolutely excellent, and he's really bringing life to the story. It may be that the fact that I'm listening to it and reading it is making it a more enjoyable reading experience for me, so we'll see. But good narrators can really bring a story to life. Like when I first read The Children of Blood and Bone, I had a reaction when I first read it, and then I read it a second time before I reviewed it, and the second time that I read it, it was a hybrid read, so I was listening to the narrator, and she was super good and made a difference. So I think it really makes a difference. Sorry, we're getting the emergency instructions. 1 second.
In this one you can't pull up the seats, but you can use the curtains.
Okay.
And yep, you got it, perfect. And you just something in Audible with us, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Enjoy the trip.
Tommy's gonna save us all if there's an accident. Okay, so what else was I gonna say? Yeah, listening to it makes a big difference because the narrator brings their life to it. They are the ones who decide what kind of inflection they're going to place on certain words, what accents they're going to use, how they convey emotion, the pacing, and everything. And I will tell you that when I first started listening to this story, read by Joe Morton, I actually turned the speed lower rather than higher because I actually wanted to hear Joe speak, and I wanted to engage his tone and his timbre and really get into the story. This story reads like a poem, and I think that one of the criticisms, if I remember correctly, of the book was that it was very slow and too descriptive and too plodding. And so far, at page 89 or wherever I am, so far I don't mind that at all. Alright, so that is where I am. I'm reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Water Dancer, and so far I am enjoying it, and I absolutely love the narration. Have you read The Water Dancer? Have you bought The Water Dancer but haven't picked it up? And if so, why? And what are you reading right now? Or what were you reading on Friday? If you have watched this all the way to the end, what should they... We're on a train. So any kind of like train or train tracks or locomotive, any kind of thing like that, you can put that in the in your comments, and I would love to see your comments, and I'd love to hear what you're reading. Okay, now I'll show you cute Tomi with her mask. Happy reading, read with purpose. Thanks for watching, and here's Tomi.